All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Naresh Mago and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the National Recruitment Agency will prove to be a boost for crores of youngsters and will boost transparency. Tamil Nadu government launches post-coronavirus follow-up clinic in Chennai for patients who recover from the virus. Monsoon session of the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly to commence from today amid COVID-19 protocols. Results of Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 to be announced today. Heavy rains lashing the national capital since yesterday, and in tennis, Sumit Nagal advances to singles quarterfinals of Prague Open. The Cabinet has approved the setting up of National Recruitment Agency (NRA) to conduct the Common Eligibility Test. Briefing the media yesterday, Union Minister Prakash Javadekar termed it as a historic decision which will benefit job-seeking youth of the country. He said this fulfills the long-standing demand of the youth of the country.
नौकरी के लिए जो युवा होते हैं उनको बहुत परीक्षाएं देनी पड़ती है। ये सब समाप्त करने के लिए एक ऐतिहासिक फैसले में नेशनल रिक्रूटमेंट एजेंसी, राष्ट्रीय भर्ती संस्था, ये परीक्षा लेने वाली कॉमन एलिजिबिलिटी टेस्ट ये लेगी और इसका युवाओं को लाभ मिलेगा जो नौकरी के लिए आवेदन करते हैं।
Our correspondent has the details.
The National Recruitment Agency will conduct a common eligibility test to screen and shortlist candidates for the Group B and C non-technical posts. NRA will have representatives of Ministry of Railways, Ministry of Finance, SSC, RRB and IBPS. Special focus on creating examination infrastructure in the 117 aspirational districts would go a long way in affording access to candidates at a place nearer to where they reside. The CET score of the candidates shall be valid for a period of 3 years from the date of declaration of the result. The best of the valid scores shall be deemed to be the current score of the candidate. There shall be no restriction on the number of attempts to be taken by a candidate to appear in the CET subject to the upper age limit. Relaxation in the upper age limit shall be given to candidates of SC, ST, OBC and other categories as per the extant policy of the government. Candidates would have the facility of registering on a common portal and give a choice of centres. Government has sanctioned a sum of 1,517.57 crore rupees for the National Recruitment Agency. The expenditure will be undertaken over a period of 3 years. National Recruitment Agency will ensure transparency and ease in recruitment process both for the candidate and the recruiting organization. CET scores can be shared with central and state governments, PSUs, private sector, thus reducing recruitment costs of these organizations. Initially, the NRA will conduct CET twice a year. Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
In a series of tweets last evening, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the National Recruitment Agency will prove to be a boon for crores of youngsters. The Prime Minister added, through the Common Eligibility Test, the NRA will eliminate multiple tests and save precious time as well as resources. He said this will also be a big boost to transparency. The Cabinet, which met under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister, also approved a proposal for leasing out 3 airports of Airports Authority of India through public-private partnership. Briefing the media, Union Minister Prakash Javadekar said the 3 airports are Jaipur, Guwahati and Thiruvananthapuram.
3 एयरपोर्ट लीज देने का आज फैसला हुआ, जयपुर, गुवाहाटी और तिरुवनंतपुरम। इससे जो अपफ्रंट 1070 करोड़ लगभग मिलेंगे, ये एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया दूसरे छोटे शहरों में एयरपोर्ट का विकास करने में उपयोग में लाएगी। और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया ये परमानेंट प्राइवेट को नहीं दे रहा है, ये 50 साल वो चलाने के बाद फिर से एयरपोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया को ये एयरपोर्ट्स वापस मिलेंगे।
Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, CCEA, has approved fair and remunerative price of sugarcane payable by sugar mills for the sugar season 2020-21 at 285 rupees per quintal for a basic recovery rate of 10%.
1 करोड़ गन्ना किसानों के लिए। इस साल भी परंपरा के अनुसार जो फेयर एंड रेम्यूनरेटिव प्राइसेस है, लाभकारी मूल्य बढ़ाकर दिया है। अब 285 रुपए पर क्विंटल यानी 2850 रुपए एक टन का दाम निश्चित हुआ है। 10% रिकवरी के आधार पर यह है, लेकिन अगर 11% रिकवरी होती है तो 28 रुपए 50 पैसे ज्यादा मिलेंगे पर क्विंटल।
The CCEA also approved a one-time relaxation to Power Finance Corporation and Rural Electrification Corporation for extending loans to DISCOMs above the limits of working capital cap of 25% of last year's revenues under Ujjwal Discom Assurance Yojana.
Union Minister Dr. Jatendra Singh has hailed the setting up of the National Recruitment Agency as a historic decision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said NRA will pave the way for transformational reform in the recruitment process for central government jobs. Briefing media, he said the decision marks a paradigm shift in government recruitment process. The minister said that the move will not only lead to ease of recruitment, selection and job placement, but will ultimately ensure ease of living, as about 1,000 centres, one in each district, will be set up where candidates can take the test. He said the measure will immensely help the candidates from far-flung and hilly areas, and particularly girl candidates, besides saving their valuable time and resources. Dr. Jatendra Singh said that NRA will come into force from next year and will be headquartered in Delhi. The minister informed that state governments will also be advised to come on board in a true spirit of cooperative federalism. He also hoped that in the near future, private sector will also join the NRA. Dr. Jatendra Singh said besides Hindi and English, tests will be conducted in 12 languages in due course, and efforts will be made to include all the languages mentioned in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. The results of the 5th edition of the nationwide annual cleanliness survey, Swachh Sarvekshan 2020, will be announced today. This year, around 1,87 lakh citizens participated in the survey of 4,242 cities, 62 cantonment boards and 92 towns along the Ganga River. 129 awards will be handed over to the top performing cities and states in today's Swachh Mahotsav event. A report.
Swachh Sarvekshan 2020, which was completed in 28 days, saw registration of 1,70 lakh citizens on Swachhata app and over 11 crore impressions on social media accounts. It also witnessed linking of more than 5,50,000 sanitary workers to social welfare schemes and over 84,000 informal waste pickers being integrated into the mainstream. Swachh Sarvekshan was introduced by the government with the objective of generating large-scale citizen participation in the mission, along with inculcating a spirit of healthy competition among cities towards becoming India's cleanest cities. The event will also witness felicitation of Urban Development Ministry's partner organizations in the Urban Swachh Bharat mission journey, including the United States Agency for International Development, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Google. Mysuru had won the award for the cleanest city of India in the first edition of the survey, whereas Indore has retained the top position for the last 3 consecutive years. Swachh Sarvekshan League, a quarterly cleanliness assessment of cities and towns, was also introduced to ensure continuous assessment. Anand Chaturvedi, AIR News, Delhi.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has expressed confidence in the Indian Navy's preparedness to meet any challenge through a proactive response in deploying its ships and aircraft. The minister applauded the Indian Navy for their role in protecting the maritime interests of the nation. Addressing the Naval Commanders' Conference yesterday, he congratulated the Indian Navy on the conduct of the biggest ever repatriation operation, Operation Samudra Setu. It has contributed extensively to the national interest. He said the Navy was instrumental in bringing home almost 4,000 people from neighbouring countries based in the Indian Ocean region. The minister said the Indian Navy has effectively carried out the mission-based deployment to protect maritime interests by deploying naval ships and aircraft at major and sensitive locations. He said these deployments have helped increase maritime domain awareness and provided rapid humanitarian aid and relief. Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh also addressed the top commanders of the Navy yesterday. The 3-day conference is a biennial conference which was to be held in April but was postponed due to the pandemic. Our correspondent reports that security in the Indian Ocean amidst the situation at the line of actual control in Ladakh is on the agenda apart from modernization of the Navy. Over 2 million people in the country have recovered from COVID-19 so far due to sustained, preemptive and timely interventions. The recovery rate continued to register its upward trend and stood at 73.64% yesterday. India registered over 60,000 recoveries in the preceding 24 hours, which was the highest number of recoveries from COVID-19 in a single day. So far, a total of 20,37,870 people have recovered in the country. The case fatality rate continues to show a steady decline and stands at 1.91%. The eSanjeevani digital platform of the Health Ministry has completed 2 lakh teleconsultations. This milestone was achieved within a short span of 10 days since the 9th of August, when Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan had presided over a meet to commemorate the completion of 1.5 lakh teleconsultations. The eSanjeevani platform has proved its utility and easy access for the caregivers and the medical community and to those seeking health care services in the times of COVID.
In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you views of leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Dr. Amarchand Bajaj, Senior Consultant at the Sitaram Bhartiya Institute of Science and Research in New Delhi, highlighted the importance of hygiene and how to maintain it to contain the virus.
जब तक हमारे पास इनकी ट्रीटमेंट वैक्सीन या मेडिसिन के रूप में ना निकले, तब तक हमें जो प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स है वो फॉलो करने हैं। जहाँ जरूरत ना हो उसमें घर से बिल्कुल बाहर ना निकले, कोशिश करें कम से कम बाहर निकलना है। और जबकि निकलना भी पड़ा घर से बाहर तो कोशिश करें कि जहाँ आप 2 लोग खड़े हैं, करीब 2 मीटर दूर खड़े रहें, नहीं तो कम से कम 1 मीटर दूर खड़े रहें।
Dr. Naresh Gupta of Loknayak Jayaprakash Narayan Hospital in Delhi said, in most of the cases, the COVID-19 infection is self-limiting and very few patients are required to take admission in hospital.
80% में तो ऐसी भी तकलीफ नहीं करते हैं या इतनी हल्की करते हैं कि लोग घर पे ही ठीक हो जाते हैं। 10-15% में उनको अस्पताल जाके कुछ दवाई दी जाती है और वो सेटल हो जाते हैं। 5% या उससे कम वाले हैं जो कि दाखिल होना पड़ता है।
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the National Recruitment Agency will prove to be a boon for crores of youngsters and will boost transparency. Tamil Nadu government launches post-coronavirus follow-up clinic in Chennai for patients who recovered from the virus. Monsoon session of the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly to commence from today amid COVID-19 protocols. Results of Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 to be announced today. Heavy rains lashing the national capital since yesterday. And in tennis, Sumit Nagal advances to singles quarterfinals of Prague Open. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The monsoon session of the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council will commence at 11 a.m. today. The authorities have made special seating arrangements following the COVID-19 protocols. Assembly Speaker Narayan Dikshit said all members of the House and staff on duty have undergone COVID-19 tests. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Assembly Speaker Narayan Dikshit told
सदन बुलाना अपरिहार्य था। देश की और किसी विधानसभा में ऐसा अभी तक नहीं हो पाया है। संवैधानिक बाध्यता होती है। संविधान में ऐसी व्यवस्था है कि एक सत्र से दूसरे सत्र के मध्य 6 माह से ज्यादा अवधि नहीं होनी चाहिए। इसलिए सदन बुलाया जाना, हमारे पास सरकार द्वारा भेजे गए अध्यादेश, उनके प्रति स्थानीय विधेयक, तरह के सरकारी काम है, उन्हें निपटाएंगे।
In the run-up to the session, all precautionary measures have been made in wake of COVID-19. The House is well sanitized and special seating arrangements have been made for members. The House members will sit leaving one seat vacant. Visitors gallery and press gallery will also be used by House members for sitting. No visitors will be allowed and passes of all members of the House stand cancelled. The sick and elderly legislators may abstain the session by giving intimation if they need. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has appealed for social distancing ahead of the session.
Two ministers, Kamal Rani Varun and Chetan Chauhan, succumbed to COVID-19 infection in a span of 2 weeks. 20 members of assembly were tested positive 2 days back. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Bihar, the COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to over 75% following the recovery of 3,838 patients during the last 24 hours. Altogether, 84,578 patients have recovered so far. The number of positive cases has reached 1,12,759, with 2,884 people found infected with the virus. 27,612 patients are receiving treatment at various hospitals. 558 people have died due to COVID-19 so far. Patna has recorded the maximum number of positive cases at 17,721.
The government of Odisha has formed a multidisciplinary technical committee to monitor and provide technical assistance to COVID healthcare facilities round the clock. Senior professors and doctors of each of the 7 medical colleges in the state have been formed as technical groups to guide the doctors of districts assigned to them. More details from our correspondent.
These technical teams have been constituted to act as an oversight mechanism to fix the infection trajectory, training upward, and also to pin the fatalities further down. Each of these specialized groupings should be guiding the doctors in a given set of districts treating COVID-19 patients. With 2,589 fresh cases, the COVID-19 caseload climbed to 67,122 last Tuesday. The recovery has also crossed 45,000 mark, trailing case positivity in a close competition. Jatendra, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
The Tamil Nadu Health Department has launched the post-COVID-19 follow-up clinic in Chennai. It is exclusively for those who recovered from the viral infection and later suffer from other diseases. The total number of COVID infections in the state has crossed 3,55,000 as about 5,800 people tested positive yesterday. Nearly 6,400 others recovered from the infection, taking the total number of recoveries to over 2,96,000. More on this from our correspondent.
The post-COVID follow-up clinic has been launched by the State Health Minister Dr. C. Vijay Bhaskar at the Government Rajiv Gandhi General Hospital in Chennai yesterday. He claimed that it is the first of its kind in the country. Those who were admitted in the ICU or with comorbid conditions can register themselves for availing its services. They can undergo various diagnostic tests and medical investigation by specialist doctors after 28 days of their discharge. Some of those who were treated for the pandemic complain about diseases in heart, renal or other vital organs and report stress or fatigue even long afterwards. It is being planned to establish similar COVID follow-up clinics in all major medical college hospitals. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
In Karnataka, a record 8,642 new COVID-19 positive cases were reported during the last 24 hours, taking the total to 2,49,590. Among the new cases, Bengaluru city reported the highest number of 2,804 cases. Shivamogga reported 915, Mysuru 562, and Bellary 537. Here is more from our correspondent.
According to the State Health Department, 63,085 swab samples were tested during the last 24 hours and the total number of tests have gone up to 21,97,259. 81,097 COVID active patients are taking treatment in various hospitals in the state. Among them, 704 are in ICU. 126 COVID patients lost their life and the total number of deaths have increased to 4,327. The state recovery rate is 65.77% and the mortality rate is 1.73%. Or Murthy, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Maharashtra, the highest daily single-day spike of 13,165 new cases was recorded yesterday, thereby taking the COVID tally in the state to 6,28,642. We have more details in this report.
A total of 9,011 COVID-19 patients were discharged yesterday. Civic bodies in Mumbai's neighboring Thane and Kalyan Dombivli areas have allowed shops to reopen on either side of the road on all days. The shop timings have also been extended from 5 p.m. earlier to 7 p.m. now. All shops except malls, market complexes, vegetable markets, gyms and swimming pools outside COVID-19 hotspots can remain open on all days. The order also stated that protocols laid down for preventing the spread of COVID-19 should be strictly followed. The Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation has resumed its services this morning. The state government has permitted resumption of inter-district bus transport service. Madhuri Pange, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Gujarat, 1,145 new cases of COVID-19 were recorded yesterday. According to the State Health Department, the recovery rate improved further and now is 78.98%. Details from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
More than 14,78,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date. Out of 1,145 new cases, the maximum 166 new cases reported from Surat. At present, 14,418 active cases in the state, out of which 81 patients are on ventilator. 1,120 patients have been discharged from various hospitals after recovery. The total patients recovered have gone up to 64,830. 17 patients have lost their lives yesterday. Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has added 23 new areas in the micro-containment zone following detection of new cases. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Expressing concern over the deteriorating situation of COVID-19, Rajasthan Governor Kalraj Mishra has interacted again with Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and Health Minister Raghu Sharma. He has asked them to take necessary measures to contain the spread of the virus. Mr. Mishra also told Health Minister that there was need for a fresh strategy to deal with the pandemic effectively. Our correspondent reports that the capital city Jaipur has the highest number of active cases of COVID-19.
The COVID infection tally breached the 65,000 figure after 1,312 persons were found infected yesterday. More than 200 persons have been tested positive in the last 24 hours. 12 persons have lost their lives to the virus, taking the casualty count to 910. Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot has said that the COVID management of the state has been appreciated nationwide. Mr. Gehlot claimed that the mortality rate of corona is under control. Jatendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
In Uttarakhand, 264 new coronavirus cases were reported yesterday. The tally of corona patients has reached 13,225 in the state. As per the health bulletin released last night, 9,132 patients have recovered so far. Reports say that the doubling rate in the state in the last 7 days is 31.11 days. Madhya Pradesh has emerged as the leading state in the implementation of Pradhan Mantri Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Scheme PM Swanidhi. PM Swanidhi is a central sector scheme to facilitate street vendors to access affordable working capital loan for resuming their livelihood. There are more details in this report.
Interest-free loan of rupees 10,000 has been sanctioned so far to 58,476 street vendors in Madhya Pradesh. Minister for Urban Development and Housing Bhupendra Singh has informed that in the end of August, loan will be sanctioned to over 1 lakh street vendors. Meanwhile, 8,78,000 street vendors have been registered in 378 civic bodies. Out of this, more than 4,37,000 applications have been verified. Identity card to 3,77,000 street vendors have already been distributed. More than 1,70,000 cases have been sent to various banks for sanctioning of loans. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
In our series on Atmanirbhar Bharat today, we bring you a special story on growth in organic farming in the country. India ranks first in the number of organic farmers and ninth in the terms of area under organic farming. Sikkim became the first state to become fully organic, and other states, including Tripura and Uttarakhand, have set similar targets. Northeast India has been traditionally following organic farming, and the usage of chemicals in the region is reported to be far less than the rest of the country. The tribal and island territories are also being nurtured to continue their organic cultivation. the government initiated Mission Organic Value Chain Development for Northeastern Region MOVCD and Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana PKVY in 2015 to encourage chemical-free farming.
Rains lashed parts of Delhi NCR in the early hours today, bringing down the temperature to 27 degrees Celsius. According to the India Meteorological Department, IMD, thunderstorms with moderate to heavy rain would continue to occur over many places across Delhi in the next few hours. It said that thunderstorm with moderate to heavy rain would continue to occur over many places including IGI Airport, Dadri, Ghaziabad, Itaha, Noida, Greater Noida, Ballabgarh, Faridabad, Gurugram, Manesar, Sohna, Modinagar, Meerut and other adjoining areas. Submerged underpasses, waterlogging on roads, fallen trees and uprooted electricity poles have also been reported from many areas of the capital city. In Telangana, incessant rains continue to lash several parts of the state. Though the flood situation at Bhadrachalam in River Godavari came to normal, heavy inflows are reaching various projects across River Krishna and Godavari due to heavy rains in catchment areas. Relief measures in flood-hit Warangal district are continuing while enumeration of losses is on. Met officials warned that heavy to very heavy rainfall is likely for 2 more days in 16 out of 33 districts of the state.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is expected to have rain and a generally cloudy sky. The minimum temperature recorded in the city was 25 degrees Celsius. The maximum is expected to hover around 33. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The minimum temperature recorded was 25. The maximum will be around 29. Chennai will also have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature there was 27 and the maximum is expected to be 34. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the metropolis was 26 while the maximum will be around 31. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Jammu is likely to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 25 in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 33. In Srinagar, there will be a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature was 19 and maximum is expected to be 29. Leh in Ladakh will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. The minimum temperature there was 20 and the maximum could go up to 31. In Gilgit, the minimum temperature was recorded at 21 and the maximum is expected to be around 35. The region will see a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. In Muzaffarabad, there will be a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain, with temperatures between 22 and 32 degrees Celsius. Sumit Nagar advanced to the singles quarterfinals of the Prague Open in Prague with a hard-fought victory over Kiri Leheka. India's top singles player Nagar prevailed 5-7, 7-6, 6-3 in 2 hours and 21 minutes in the second round contest of the €137,560 clay court event. It is likely that he will meet Stan Wawrinka in the next round. The Swiss is up against Germany's Oscar Otte in his second round clash.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Common eligibility exam for government jobs, PSBs gets approval, says Hindustan Times. 28% Delhi has corona, most asymptomatic as per a Sero survey, says the Pioneer. Delhi hotels and weekly markets to reopen, gyms to stay closed, reports the Times of India. The Tribune writes that the fear of contracting COVID-19 has seen a spurt in the demand for short-term COVID-specific health covers. Top court allows CBI probe in Sushant Singh Rajput's death, reports Hindustan Times. And finally, the Times of India reports that Internet Explorer, once the world's most popular browser with a peak market share of 95% in 2003, will soon become history, with Microsoft pulling the plug.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says the National Recruitment Agency will prove to be a boon for crores of youngsters and will boost transparency. Tamil Nadu government launches post-coronavirus follow-up clinic in Chennai for patients who recover from the virus. Monsoon session of Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly to commence from today amid COVID-19 protocols. Results of Swachh Sarvekshan 2020 to be announced today. Heavy rains lashing the national capital since yesterday, and in tennis, Sumit Nagal advances to singles quarterfinals of Prague Open. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.